Everybody, calling this meeting to order. Welcome to the 603rd board meeting of the California Regional Water Quality Control Board, Central Valley and Rancho Cordova. This meeting of the Central Valley Regional Water Quality Board is called to order at 9:10 a.m. on Friday, February 27th, 2026. And we have a quorum present. This meeting is being live streamed and the full video will be available on YouTube following the meeting. I am Nick Abdus, the chair of the Central Valley Water Board. I will introduce the other board members in just 1 minute. Mindy, can you please begin by providing instructions for the members of the public that plan to participate in today's meeting?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Mindy Bunn, and I am the clerk to the board. I'll begin by sharing some information about how public participation will be organized for today's meeting. If you wish to make a verbal comment on one of the board items or during the public forum, you must be attending either in person, through the Zoom platform, or by calling in via phone. If you're currently watching the webcast on CalSpan but would like to make a comment, please email me now at agenda5@waterboards.ca.gov to request the Zoom link. If you're already on the Zoom webinar and wish to speak but have not pre-registered, please raise your hand and you will be called upon. If you're using a computer or tablet, click the raise hand button. If you're calling in by phone, press *9 to raise your hand. Generally, in-person commenters will be called on first, followed by Zoom and phone participants. If you're here in person and wish to speak but haven't completed a blue comment card and given it to a staff member, or if you're on Zoom and haven't raised your hand, you may miss your opportunity to speak. Staff will call each commenter by name and your microphone will be unmuted. If you're calling in by phone, staff will identify you by the last 3 digits of your phone number. For the record, please state your name and who you are representing before speaking. This is especially important for those testifying on an item. Unless you have been granted additional time, each speaker will have 3 minutes. A bell will sound when your time is up. Please speak from a quiet location to minimize background noise. And finally, a friendly reminder to our board members, presenters, and staff, please mute yourself when not speaking to reduce background noise. And if possible, keep your camera on when speaking. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Mindy. All right, I will at this point introduce the other board members to my left. To my left, Elena Lee Reeder of Sacramento, Denise Kadara of Allensworth, Sean Yang of Sacramento. Is Art online? Do we have him virtually today? No. Okay, so and I am Nick Abdus of Sacramento. I saw Nicole Morgan. Good morning, Nicole. Our state water board member that is participating in this meeting and will provide an update a little later. I will now introduce Executive Officer Patrick Palupa, who in turn will introduce his staff.
Good morning. To my far right, I have JJ Baum, Assistant Executive Officer in the Rancho Cordova office. To his left is Kennedy Knight of the Office of Chief Counsel. To her left is Chris Moskal, also of the Office of Chief Counsel. To my immediate right, Jessica Yar from the Office of Chief Counsel. You're sensing a theme here. To my far left is Adam Lapitz, Assistant Executive Officer from the Rancho Cordova office. And you have been introduced to Mindy Bunn, Executive Assistant and Clerk to the board. There are a number of other assistant executive officers and senior staff and staff in the audience, both in person and online. And with that, I'll hand it back to you.
Thank you, Patrick. No meeting is complete without a bunch of attorneys, so. All right, before we begin today's meeting, I'd like to invite everybody to join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise if you're able. All right, salute and pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Item number 3 on the agenda, board member communications. At this time, I would ask any board members if they'd like to disclose any communications from the last board meeting.
Good morning. The only communication I have is on the 20th of January, the Allensworth Community Services District hosted a groundbreaking ceremony for the construction of a new well, a long time coming. Process started in 2013, where we did the feasibility study, and we got funding in 2021 and 2026 groundbreaking. Construction started actually the same day of the groundbreaking ceremony. So we're really excited to have that. What that means is having an improved water system for Allensworth. Our next phase is to focus on distribution pipes, because having a new well and storage tank, it means nothing if the distribution pipes are old. So that's our next opportunity. But the community is very grateful for this process to begin taking place. And we really want to thank the State Water Board and even our Regional Water Board, because while we were going through the process and the pains of having our water shut off from time to time because of breakages, it was the Regional Water Board and State Water Board that came in and helped us with the funding to get the chlorination system, get the pumps working, and keep us operating with clean water. So we're grateful for the opportunity and look forward to when we can really have a full system that will serve the community and ensure that we have safe drinking water. So thank you very much, and it's a great opportunity for Allensworth.
Thank you, Denise, and thank you for your continued advocacy for community of Allensworth. Good progress, a lot more to go for sure. Sean?
If I might, one last acknowledgement is that we will be taking our community plan before the Planning Commission on March 11th, and hopefully it will be adopted by the Tulare County Board of Supervisors on March 31st. And that's another effort for a lot of the work we're doing that includes the need for the water and sewer system so the community can grow and flourish as any other community. So thank you.
Thank you. Sean?
Yeah, good morning. This is Sean. I just wanted to report back that February I visit some residents in Madera County, and they have voiced that their water table has gone down, and that's a concern, and some of them needs a new wells. So just want to report that back. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, thanks for that. I don't have any updates there. Item number 4, State Water Board Liaison update. Again, Nicole Morgan, thank you for joining us this morning to provide an update.
Sound like it.
Oh,
Okay, there we go.
There we go.
Okay, good morning, Travis and members of the board. It is an honor to be here in front of you today to give you an update from the State Water Board. So a few things going on. So each year the State Board takes a look at our priorities, and we come up with an annual document that lists out those priorities. So each year it seems that this list has just gotten longer and longer, and it's, it ends up being that thing of, well, how can all of those be a priority, and what are you going to achieve within this year? So this year on February 3rd, we had a conversation about somewhat changing that. And some of the things that were listed as priorities really are our core workload. And so we had a discussion about pulling out the core workload and having that become somewhat of an appendix to the document, and really highlighting what is the State Board's core workload, so that so that the public, community, State Board, all of us can recognize and appreciate what that core workload is, and then have a much shorter document that lists what are the priorities for that calendar year. So staff are working on that. So we're a little bit delayed of coming out with that priority document this year. However, we believe that this is the right direction to move in and not have an 11, 12-page document that lists out 100 priorities for 1 year, with knowing that a lot of these are a lot of this is ongoing work, and many of the work that is listed there is staff's core workload. And so we really want to make sure that we are able to celebrate staff, the work that they do every day, while also listing out and really being able to focus on where those priorities for that current calendar year. So that is to come. We'll be looking at bringing that back to the state board at a meeting in March, which is, I guess, like March starts next week, or in April. So let's see, the Sacramento Delta Bay Delta Plan, the update. So on January 28th through January 30th, we held a state board hearing to hear comments on the revised updates from December 2025 and on Chapter 13 of the draft staff report. So comments that was the last of those comments of coming in. We heard those comments, and staff are taking those under consideration. They're incorporating them. There will be another opportunity for public review and comment before consideration and adoption by the board. So stay tuned for that. We received a lot of comments in December and during that 3-day hearing. Want to thank everyone who participated in those 3 days. A lot of good comments were received, and we're continuing to work on the updates based on those comments. So the 303D list for 2026 California Integrated Report. So on February 3rd, we adopted the 2026 Integrated Report, and just want to really thank the Central Valley Water Board for your participation and really providing great input into the process and the updates. Since state board staff have taken it over, there's been a lot of conversation, a lot of just revisement of the report and the direction, in which is really has lended itself to some just real need for input from the regional boards, and just a learning process. And so Central Valley did provide some really valuable comments this time around to really help us shape the report and the direction of it, and just really help the state board to understand the Central Valley waters, where the direction that we need to go in, and help the report just to continue to grow. So just really want to thank you for the participation and the additional just insight into the Central Valley, and making sure that we're able to correctly incorporate the needs of the Central Valley waterways. So next, the Ag Expert Panel. So that has been ongoing. So on February 11th, they had a session to go over deliberations on the panel charge questions. So since then, they have started to develop a recommendation report, which will be then delivered to the state board for consideration to come up with policy recommendations. So that report is being compiled. It will then go out for public review and comment for the panel to take a look at and make any updates that they see fit. And then it will come to the state board for us to take under our consideration. So that has been ongoing. Again, just want to also, again, thank Central Valley for your continued participation in that effort also. Let's see, municipal stormwater permit cost reporting. So the policy for standardization of cost reporting in municipal stormwater permits was adopted by the State Water Board at its January 22nd meeting. Staff developed an online reporting portal for permittees to submit cost data as required by the policy. The portal will be launched in February, so it should have been launched already. Staff prepared an updated guidance document for standardized cost reporting, which was also published. So let's see here, vapor intrusion workshop. So Cali PA has began some vapor intrusion workshops. So there would be 5 in total. The first 2 workshops were on February 12th and 25th. And so Zoom registration is required for each of those, and you can register on the State Water Board website on our vapor intrusion webpage. And so while the first two have passed, there are three more that will be held, and each one of those is on the Pacific topic, which is listed on our website. And so that is an ongoing effort hosted by the Cal EPA Vapor Intrusion work group there. So last but not least, and so just want to remind everyone, I am on ex parte for this, so we'll provide big picture update but cannot answer questions. So the Delta Conveyance Project on February 9th, the Administration Hearing Office, the AHO, released the 10th amended hearing notice. For the project hearings, the petitioner rebuttal portion of the public hearing will continue on March 2nd, 5th, 6th, and more information can be found on the project webpage. And so that is ongoing. There will be those hearings will be held next week, and you can follow along either by registering for Zoom or follow on the AHO's YouTube webpage. So with that, I am available for any questions.
Thank you for that, Nicole. Anybody have any?
I don't have any questions, Nicole, but I just wanted to thank you for coming out to the groundbreaking and participating. You were there when we had problems. You and Joaquin came out and heard the voices and the concerns from the residents. So to have you also participate in the groundbreaking ceremony, we definitely appreciate it. So thank you very much.
It was an honor. Thank you.
Board Member Morgan, thank you so much for putting together these reports. I don't think we ever say it enough, but thank you for putting them together. I know it takes hours to assemble, and I really appreciate that. I'm very excited about the governor's new water plan for 2028 and learning a little bit more about that later and seeing where we fit in and ready to pitch in.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Nicole.
All right. Thank you all.
All right, next on the agenda is the public forum. If you're a person at the meeting and wish to speak but have not submitted a speaker card, please fill out a blue card at the reception table and give it to a staff member. If you're on Zoom, on the Zoom platform and wish to speak and have not registered, please raise your hand now. Mindy, do we have anyone signed up to speak on items not on the agenda today?
No speakers.
All right. All right, moving on, thank you. Item number 6, the executive officer's report.
We have a couple of Superior Accomplishment Awards, so I'll move over to the podium. Good morning. I hope everybody's enjoying the new facilities. This is our first board meeting back in this office since February of last year, believe it or not. Lots of construction work happened. Got a couple folks that we want to recognize here with Superior Accomplishment Awards. First up is Christy Gelbrink. Christy is an engineering geologist in the Reading Groundwater Unit. She joined the board in February of 2024 after 10 years as an REHS, that's an environmental health specialist, is that right? With the Shasta County Department of Environmental Health. She's receiving this Superior Accomplishment Award for the many ways her collaborative nature contributes to site progress. Christy is a supportive and dedicated professional. While at the county, she developed strong, positive working relationships with stakeholders throughout Northern California, including drillers, consultants, contractors, other city and county officials, and the regulated public. The respect and trust these groups have in Christy have fostered productive outcomes for challenging Reading Groundwater Unit projects. In one instance, this led to cooperation from a sizable city during an enforcement action. In another, to high meeting attendance in an underrepresented community following door-to-door public outreach. She also persuaded a county with limited resources to beta test a new underground storage tank database program for the State Water Board's GeoTracker group. Given Christie's experience with the county, she's acutely mindful of the challenges counties face in implementing state environmental requirements. She encourages water board and county staff with overlapping responsibilities to communicate directly with one another. Lastly, Christie's generosity makes her a natural mentor and trainer. Within her first 6 months of employment, she walked 2 dischargers through the UST Cleanup Fund application process, which ultimately led to successful funding commitments in both instances. She shares information and resources she comes across. She generates guidance documents for the unit when she learns new processes, and she takes an active and caring role in mentoring the groundwater unit's scientific aid. Christie earns this SAA for her consistently supportive and encouraging approach towards her work, her peers, our permittees, and our stakeholders. Christie is a pleasure to work with. We appreciate all she adds to her programs, our office, and our region. Congratulations. Have a quick mark, and then we'll do the pictures all together. Hang on. Oh, you hang on. We'll do the pictures at the end. Next up is Kate Schoberg. Good morning. And thanks for making the trip down for both of the awardees from Reading. Kate Schoberg, engineering geologist in the Reading Groundwater Unit, joined the Water Board in October 2018 following her graduation from UC Davis. After 19 months in the NPDES unit, she transitioned to the Groundwater Unit in May of 2020. Kate is recognized for her exceptional dedication to case management and her leadership in office revitalization efforts. Upon joining the Groundwater Unit, she assumed responsibility for the high-profile, high-priority Union Pacific Railroad North Dunsmuir Rail Yard case. That's a site we all visited last year. She played a key role in the Unified Command emergency response alongside UPRR, California Department of Fish and Wildlife, and US EPA, offering critical technical input and field oversight. Her longstanding involvement enabled her to provide expert review and commentary on response action work plans, often surpassing the expertise of the external consultants. Significant progress has been made under her guidance. Over 100,000 gallons of oil have been removed, 160,000 tons of debris excavated, and 1,500 feet of shoreline restored. With the dissolution of the Unified Command in October of 2025, Kate continues to oversee compliance under the board's cleanup and abatement order, ensuring ongoing remediation and monitoring of residual contamination. In 2024, Kate took on a priority case from the Rancho Cordova office involving a site in Yuba City funded through DTSC's Equitable Community Revitalization Grant. She expedited document reviews to support grant timelines and coordinated with the Office of Environmental Health Hazard Assessment, or OEHA, for technical evaluations, balancing fiscal constraints with environmental and public health concerns. Kate has also stepped up in the absence of her senior leader, who took a retirement, and managing weekly meetings until coverage, monthly reporting, EO entries, and performance tracking. She currently supports a colleague on paternity leave and remains a reliable resource for her team. Additionally, Kate contributes to the Office Optimization Team, a new initiative aimed at enhancing workplace culture through inclusivity, respect, and continuous learning. Again, my gratitude goes out to you. The UPRR case in particular, it was under a microscope. You know, we had what's not mentioned here is there's a ton of tribal engagement, community focus on that site and navigating all those challenges. Really, really exceptional work. So congratulations. So,
Yeah, congrats to both of you. Obviously, our organization would not be what it is without individuals like yourselves. And thank you for your commitment and thank you for making a difference. So we'll take a photo at this point, a group photo.
And that's it, unless we have additional questions on the EO report. When you read through the EO report, very often it is work like the work that Christy does, like the work Kate does, that shows up. You'll see little initials behind the case closures. That's what those kind of 3 dots are. A lot of work goes into those case closures, those little victories that we have within that EO report. Usually that represents, hundreds, if not thousands of hours of staff time and investment and community engagement in review of work plans and things like that. So it's not often that this work comes before the board, but it is so fundamental to what we do and really plays a huge role in protecting community water supplies throughout the region. And frankly, returning a lot of these sites to viable use. It's one thing to clean up the site. It's another thing, when a developer gets that no further action required letter, and we can build housing, we can build new businesses and things like that. A lot of board work usually goes into those projects before they are declared clean and safe to use that land again.
Thank you, Patrick. And a lot of work goes into the EO's report as well. A lot of detail, a lot of good stuff in there. So thank you as well.
Yeah, and I would just say for the public, and even myself, just to review the document, to see all of the work that's taken place. And as you just mentioned, a lot of closed cases to where the land can be reused. It's just important to have that document. It helps you get an understanding of what the water board is doing and the actions that have been taken. So it's a wealth of information, and I appreciate reviewing it every time because you learn a lot, you see a lot of work that's been done. And my commendations to the staff for all the hard work that goes behind that document and the work that you continue to do. Thank you.
Hey, Nick.
Yes.
Yeah, I also wanted to echo what my colleague was saying. There's a lot of history, a lot of work that has been done and ongoing. So I also encourage everyone to read it up. And I also want to take this opportunity to congratulate and thank Christy and Kate of the work that they done. Being paid employee, the evaluation of meeting your job is already, a lot of hard work, but to excel that and being awarded, that means you have done excellent work. So I just want to say congratulations. It's not easy to get there. It takes a lot. And specifically, some of the groundwork that you guys done as far as serving the disadvantaged community and unified other agencies to work together to resolve issues out there. So congratulations and thank you for all the work that you've done and doing.
All right. Thank you. Mindy, do we have any speakers on this item?
No speakers.
Okay. All right, then we're moving on to item number 7. Are there any edits or corrections to the December 12th, 2025 minutes? All right, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Could you please take the roll?
Board Member Kadara,
Yes.
Board Member Yang,
Yes.
Board Member Baggett,
Aye.
Vice Chair Lee Reader,
Aye.
and Chair Abdus.
Yes. All right, I will take a moment to recognize Board Member Baggett. I think he joined some time ago and I failed to recognize his attendance. So thanks for joining, Art.
Sure. You're welcome.
All right, now we'll go to item number 8, consideration of the uncontested items. The board will consider items. I want to get this straight, Mindy. Can you just confirm 9, 10, 13 through 18 with amendments?
That is correct.
All right. So this is a time and place to consider these uncontested items. If you're a person at the meeting who wishes to speak and not submitted a speaker card.
I'll be down in 5 minutes.
Was that Art? Art, maybe mute, please. Thank you. Please fill out a blue card at the reception table. Give it to a staff member. If you're on the Zoom platform and wish to speak but have not registered, please raise your hand now. Do we have any folks wanting to speak on the uncontested items, Mindy?
No commenters.
All right. I guess we talked about the late revisions, so nothing else to talk about there. Legal counsel, any issues we need to discuss?
No issues.
I'll entertain a motion at this point.
I'll go ahead and move the consent calendar with the amendments.
Second. I have a motion and a second. Mindy, please take the roll.
Board Member Kadara,
Yes.
Board Member Yang,
Yes.
Board Member Baggett,
Yes.
Vice Chair Lee Ritter,
Aye.
and Chair Abdus.
Yes. All right, moving on to item 11. Consideration of a resolution to adopt the pyrethroid research plan. All right, this is the time and place for a hearing to consider adoption of the pyrethroid research plan. This proceeding will be conducted in accordance with the notice of public hearing and meeting procedures published with the meeting agenda. At this time, evidence should be introduced on whether the proposed action should be taken. All persons expecting to testify, please raise your right hand and take the following oath. Do you swear the testimony you are about to give is the truth? If so, answer I do.
I do.
I do.
I do.
Thank you. So when speaking, please state your name, address, affiliation, and whether you have taken the oath before testifying. Following the staff presentation, interested persons will be allowed 3 minutes each to address the board, and a timer will be used. Does council have any legal issues that we need to discuss at this point?
No.
All right, with that, we'll begin with the staff presentation.
Good morning, Chair Abdus and board members. My name is Sajjan Fagora, and I'm a senior in the Basin Planning section, and I've taken the oath. It's my pleasure to introduce the other staff that have worked on this project. Jessica Rader is the senior for the TMDLs and Delta unit, and Mason Gardy is the staff lead for the pyrethroid control program. I will be presenting you with an overview of the pyrethroid research plan, also referred to as the plan. Okay, there it is. Sorry about that. Here's the outline of this presentation. I will provide a brief introduction to pyrethroids before talking about the pyrethroid control program. Then I will proceed to a discussion of the pyrethroid research plan, its purpose, the timeline of its development, and the knowledge gaps that comprise the plan. I will end the presentation with the staff recommendation that the board adopt the resolution approving the pyrethroid research plan. First, let's start with a quick discussion of what pyrethroids are. Pyrethroids are a class of broad spectrum insecticides, which means that these chemicals are highly effective at managing a wide range of pests. Pyrethroids are widely used in both agricultural and urban sectors. In urban areas, pyrethroids are used both commercially and residentially for structural and garden pest management, such as ant and roach abatement. Pyrethroids are also used in pet care products, such as flea and tick treatment. Pyrethroids are highly toxic to insects at lower doses, but are relatively safe for humans compared to previous insecticide classes. This image depicts the many point and non-point sources of pyrethroids in surface water. As we discussed in the previous slide, pyrethroids have both agricultural and urban applications. When applied in agriculture, irrigation and storm runoff from fields can transport pyrethroids to surface water. Similarly, pyrethroids applied residentially can enter stormwater systems through irrigation or rainfall events. Bathing pets treated with pyrethroid-containing treatments can wash pyrethroids into wastewater streams. Surface water monitoring results from Sacramento and San Joaquin River watersheds revealed that synthetic pyrethroids at levels of concern for aquatic invertebrates in waters and sediments, leading the Central Valley Water Board to develop the pyrethroid control program. The Central Valley Water Board adopted the pyrethroid control program through a basin plan amendment in 2017. The Parathyroid Control Program established several TMDLs as well as a conditional prohibition of parathyroid discharges in excess of numeric triggers in the Sacramento and San Joaquin River watersheds. The Parathyroid Control Program identifies 6 parathyroids as priority constituents due to their association with 303D listings and their high use rate in the Sacramento and San Joaquin River basins on a mass basis. The Parathyroid Control Program identifies the Parathyroid Research Plan, or PLAN, as a Central Valley Water Board action. During the development of the Parathyroid Control Program, board staff recognized that the available data contained considerable knowledge gaps because the behavior, specifically the toxicity of parathyroids, is largely impacted by other water quality parameters and conditions. For example, parathyroids are known to exhibit additive toxicity in the presence of other parathyroid analytes, but it was unknown what other chemicals may produce a similar effect in mixtures with parathyroids. Despite this and similar knowledge gaps, which will be mentioned in an upcoming slide, the Central Valley Water Board deemed it necessary to establish a regulatory structure for parathyroids to address the ongoing water quality concerns. In recognition of both the need for regulatory structure and the existing uncertainties, the Basin Plan Amendment adopting the Parathyroid Control Program states that board staff will coordinate and consult with interested parties to develop a parathyroid research plan that will describe research and other special studies to inform future iterations of the Parathyroid Control Program. The Basin Plan also lists proposed topics that were identified by commenters during the development of the Parathyroid Control Program for the inclusion in the plan. Consistent with the Basin Plan language, the Parathyroid Research Plan does not include new regulations or impose additional cost to the regulated community. This slide shows the major milestones during the development of the plan. The draft plan was released in July 2023, and the public comment period was open until September 2023. Staff hosted an initial workshop in August 2023 to introduce the draft plan, and a second workshop in March of 2024 to discuss the written comments and the proposed revisions to the plan. The revised plan was released publicly in October 2025, and staff hosted the third workshop in November 2025 to discuss the revised plan. Staff met with the interested parties as requested throughout the development of the plan. The purpose of the plan is to identify knowledge gaps that inform future iterations of the Parathyroid Control Program. Revisions to the Parathyroid Control Program require a combination of data from the current program and new research information on parathyroid environmental impacts and behavior. The plan focuses on areas of scientific uncertainty where research finding will supplement implementation data to reevaluate the program. The plan outlines relevant research questions and knowledge gaps identified during the development of the Parathyroid Control Program and through subsequent literature reviews. Board staff envision the plan will support the scientific community as a justification for grant proposals or other funding opportunities. Research and funding agencies can also use the plan in their request for proposals. Although the Central Valley Water Board will, as resources allow, seek to fund some studies, most research needs will need to be fulfilled by other agencies. The plan does not detail practical and logistical steps, such as study methodologies or designs, focusing instead on broader research needs to ensure longevity and allow flexibility for innovation. It also excludes uncertainties related to regulatory actions or requirements, including Water Code 13241 factors needed to develop water quality objectives, as these are outside the plan's goal and scope. During the development of the Parathyroid Control Program, Water Board staff identified significant knowledge gaps in the data used to evaluate parathyroid products' impact on water quality and included 7 topics in the resolution that required further study. In 2023, board staff conducted and updated literature search to support development of the draft pathway research plan. Board staff found that recent research was insufficient to fill the knowledge gap or reevaluate the program's implementation. Additionally, the literature search identified 5 new knowledge gaps. The knowledge gaps identified and discussed in the plan are partition coefficients, parathyroid chemistry methodology, fate and transport of particulate-bound parathyroids, parathyroid co-stresses, specifically temperature, salinity, and microplastics, synergistic and additive toxicity, evaluation of sublethal effects, chronic toxicity in other taxa, parathyroid bioaccumulation, urban insecticide use, and alternate management practices. In summary, the Basin Plan identifies the plan as a Central Valley Water Board deliverable to the parathyroid control program. This requirement was included as a late revision to address areas of scientific uncertainty identified during the control program development. The plan does not include new policy or cost to the regulated community. Rather, the plan identifies existing knowledge gaps that will enhance the understanding of parathyroid environmental impacts and behavior to inform future iterations of the parathyroid control program. To this end, the plan outlines the board's research questions and relevant knowledge gaps to provide directions to research entities on the board's needs. The plan does not outline any uncertainties directly related to regulatory actions or requirements. Any resulting research findings will supplement implementation data during the reevaluation of the parathyroid control program required by February 2034. This concludes our presentation. Staff recommend that the board adopt the resolution approving the parathyroid research plan as it has been proposed today. Thank you for your attention. We're happy to address any questions or comments you may have.
Thank you very much for that presentation. Before we get into board comments, I'd like to know if we have any interested party who is not a party to this proceeding but wishes to comment.
No commenters.
Okay, so at this point, the board will hear any closing remarks from staff. Does anybody have any questions for staff? Could we yes, Adam?
Just a couple of remarks. This plan, you saw the timeline of developing this plan. The fact that nobody's here today is a huge success for this team. There was a lot of engagement, a lot of concerns with this plan, and the staff worked very hard to develop a plan that was clear and that the stakeholders could understand. And so we recommend approval of this and moving forward with the plan.
Thank you for that, Adam. I'll at this point close the hearing. I will say that speaks volumes for the efforts of staff that we had no one here to speak on this item. Obviously it's use of pyrethroids is certainly an area of extreme interest, but also the fact is that pyrethroids are a necessary, they have necessary applications in agriculture, and doing that in the most responsible way practicable. And I think we're doing that with this document, with this guidance. And anyone else have any other comments, questions?
I have a couple comments. I want to thank staff and the many participant stakeholders for spending the time to contribute and provide feedback so that the board can have a solid, focused pyrethroid research plan to set the tone for future reiterations of the control program. I mean, every detail was addressed and considered, including climate change. And I really appreciate that staff considered salinity, temperature effects on the pyrethroid toxicity.
Okay, with that, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
The chair will second. Mindy, please call the roll.
Board Member Kadara.
Yes.
Board Member Yang.
Yes.
Board Member Baggett.
Yes.
Vice Chair Lee Reader.
Aye.
And Chair Abdus.
Yes. All right. Thank you very much. all that work seems to be a bit anticlimactic, I would imagine, but it does not go unrecognized.
Yeah.
So it is recognized and acknowledged. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, at this point, we're on to item number 12. We're just zooming through this agenda, are we? Is the election of the chair and vice chair. So at this time, we'll move to elect the 2026 chairperson and vice chairperson. At this point, we'll open it up for discussion or any nominations.
Well, we currently have a chair and vice chair now, so I would
Yes.
support,
Yes, we do.
I would support the chair and vice chairs
Yeah.
stay in place. That would be my recommendation at this time.
Second.
Oh, all right. well,
We can vote on that if you are ready to go.
Yeah,
if
I
there's no
appreciate the vote
objections.
of confidence of our colleagues. All right. We have a motion and a second. Please take the roll.
Board Member Kadara,
Yes.
Board Member Yang,
Yes.
Board Member Baggett,
Yes.
Vice Chair Lee Reader,
Aye.
and Chair Aptis.
Yes. All right. Well, at this point, this concludes the meeting or business for the day. This meeting is officially adjourned at 9:57 a.m. We'll see everyone at the April 16th, 17th board meeting in Clovis.
Yeah.
Yeah,